Hello, and on the gaming table today, once again, you know me, it's something different. Today I'm going to go over a painting workshop that I ran recently, which is designed for kids, and I actually had some kids do it with me. So we did this on Llama Island at the Makerspace once again, and full disclosure for this was something that was paid entertainment for the kids, right? There was money involved to be able to get them to take part in this activity, but it was reasonably priced, and I'm not in it for the money, I'm just in it for the hobby, right? And to let kids be creative and learn a bit more about figures and gaming. So what I decided to do in this case was set up basically a slap chop style for the kids. I already pre-assembled all the miniatures, I base coated them, and I dry brushed them in ivory to get them to the state you see here. And I had quite a few different figures here for them, as well as some little bits of terrain. And so the idea in the workshop was the kids would be there for, an hour or two, or as long as their attention would hold, and they could do 2 or 3 figures, and they could also do a couple of bits of terrain as well if they wanted. And at the end, they'd be able to take them all home. They'd be completely finished, and they'd be able to take these figures home with them at the end of the day. So let's take a look at what happened. I had a couple of kids who were 8 years old at the workshop here. 8 is about as young as I'd probably want to do this. I've worked a lot with kids before of all sorts of different ages, and I decided about 8 years old, kind of grade 3, is about as young as we'd want to do it, to be able to manage the kids while they're doing the activity. And so here, just quickly showing them around the painting, I was showing them kind of what to do, how to put on the first colors and so on, and then after that, we just kind of let them go. Take a look.
I don't know if it's black.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. I want this one. Okay, so I think I'm gonna use a different kind of green.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we've got kind of
like just now I used this one.
Yeah, okay. So as you can see, the kids were getting stuck in. They had no fear of getting involved in this and just having a go. A couple of the things I did kind of have to show them was just how to take care of the brushes a little bit, how much paint they actually needed and that it wasn't that much, how to thin it down a little bit, because straight out of the bottle, say the Vallejo paints that I have, they're quite thick, so you want to water them down a bit. And then after that, the kids just got stuck in. Some things were a little bit rough around the edges. They took a little bit of care in some places and not so much in the others. But then I had a bit of a magic trick at the end that I said I would do to help them finish off the figures and make them look good. You might notice in some of the photos here that the figures already have sand on the bases. This was something else I did before the day. I basically PVA'd some construction sand on the bases because I thought if they can have the sand and maybe paint it up, and then we can put a bit of static grass or some flock or something on the base at the end, again, that's going to look really good. When you have even a mediocre painted figure with a nice looking base on it, it actually looks really, really good. Much better than if you just have a bare base or the black plastic there. So I thought that was an important step to do to make it kind of show ready when the kids took it home to mum and dad later on. And so here are some of the finished figures at the end. So these were painted by one particular boy, 8 years old again. He got really enthusiastic and ended up painting 5. He also painted a little bit of the terrain, but I helped him finish it off and add a little bit more color on some of the places. But overall, he was really, really into this, and he painted things very quickly with very minimal sort of colors. And what I did to get them in the state that they are like this, the last magic step, as I said, was actually a dry brush. I did no washes on here. It was just a very, very quick dry brush using a very pale neutral color. The Vallejo color I used was Deck Tan. And I find that's a really good dry brush color just to bring out edges and colors and things on figures like this. So I did that step for him. If it was an adult or maybe a teenager, I would let them do that stage. But for younger kids, they probably wouldn't be able to do dry brushing very well. So I did that step for him. And that got the figures looking like what they are here. Then we just put on a couple of spots of PVA, a little bit of static grass, and there you go. That's the figures that he ended up taking home, as well as some bits of terrain. And he was super happy with these. He decided 4 of the orcs here were ganging up on the other one, but it's okay, that one's special. He can turn invisible. So anyway, he was having a lot of creativity and fun with painting up these figures. Anyway, so that's what we did for this painting workshop. Learned a few things by doing it, but generally speaking, 95% of what we planned worked out really, really well. Overall, it was a success, and looking forward to doing a little bit more of this again with some other people in the future. So anyway, I hope you found that a little bit interesting. Maybe you can try it out for yourself. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.